Hello, Wanderers, and welcome to NoClip. Today we will be exploring Level 1, the Habitable Zone, one of the many documented locations within the Backrooms. This report compiles known information, research notes, and recorded encounters in order to better understand the nature of this level. Let's begin. If you are hearing this, then you have already accomplished something most Wanderers never do. You escaped Level 0. Survival through the yellow halls is not luck alone. It requires endurance, awareness, and a willingness to adapt. However, whatever expectations you may have built about the backrooms so far, Level 1 will change them. This is where the environment becomes more complex, more populated, and considerably more dangerous. Level 1 is commonly referred to as the Habitable Zone. At first glance, the name seems appropriate. Compared to Level 0, there are resources here. There are people. There is even some structure. But that sense of safety is misleading. While this level offers the possibility of long-term survival, it also introduces active threats, both environmental and biological, that most newcomers are not prepared to face. The level presents itself as a vast network of open halls, resembling a distorted combination of underground parking structure and an abandoned warehouse. Concrete pillars stretch endlessly across large open spaces, supporting a ceiling lined with dim, unreliable lighting. The walls are discolored and inconsistent, and the environment carries a persistent sense of artificial emptiness. It is less suffocating than Level 0, but no less unnatural. One of the first things a wanderer must understand is that Level 0 does not obey normal spatial rules. The geometry here is non-Euclidean, meaning distances are unreliable and often deceptive. You may walk toward a distant object for several minutes without appearing to get closer, or reach a far-off point in far less time than expected. Because of this, navigation requires discipline. The most reliable method is to focus on a single landmark and move toward it, without breaking visual contact. If progress seems impossible, then the object is likely much further away than it appears. Adjust accordingly. Overconfidence in your own perception is one of the fastest ways to become lost. As you move deeper into the level, subtle environmental changes begin to appear. Differences in pillar structure, wall coloration, and overall layout signal transitions between what wanderers refer to as sectors. These sectors function as identifiable regions within Level 1, each with its own characteristics. While they do not make navigation easy, they do provide a rough sense of location, something that is otherwise difficult to maintain. The Aquila Sector. The Aquila Sector is the most common entry point for new arrivals. It is characterized by gray walls, concrete flooring, and large support pillars, often accompanied by pipes along the ceiling leaking unsafe water. The sector is heavily patrolled by the M.E.G, whose members can be identified by bright yellow outfits marked with an eagle insignia. Their patrols actively search for new wanderers and escort them to safety. If you encounter them, cooperation is strongly advised. The Gild Sector. The Gild Sector differs visually, featuring brighter lighting and more varied architecture. It is also notable for its higher concentration of crates, containers that serve as the primary source of resources in Level 1. Food, tools, and supplies can often be found here, making it an important area for gathering essentials. However, the sector is also controlled in part by the M.E.G, who operate the Trader's Keep. They offer safety and shelter, but only through barter or payment. The Gothic Sector. The Gothic Sector is defined by its curved architecture, arches, rounded pillars, and a less rigid structure overall. It is home to Hippocrates I, a settlement focused on medical care and biological research. Wanderers in need of treatment are often accepted here, and assistance is typically provided without cost. If you are injured, the sector may be your best chance at recovery. The Ouroboros Sector is smaller and significantly more hazardous. The environment appears to be under constant construction, populated by humanoid figures in overalls that continuously repair the surroundings. These entities do not acknowledge wanderers and will not stop their work under any circumstance. Several incidents have been reported where individuals were injured simply for being in their path. Avoid the sector whenever possible. The Garden Sector. The Garden Sector presents a different kind of danger. Overgrown and filled with plant life, it appears almost welcoming at first. This is deceptive. Prolonged exposure to this area results in biological changes within the human body, gradually transforming individuals into plant-like organisms. Entry into deeper sections, such as the concrete garden, is strongly discouraged. The Fabled Sector. The Fabled Sector stands apart from the others. It is a remnant of an earlier state of Level 1, containing older architectural styles, wood, warmer tones, and signs of previous habitation. However, it is not untouched. Modern elements are beginning to merge with its structure, suggesting that Level 1 is not static, but evolving. The Backrooms does not simply change, it adapts, while still preserving fragments of what it once was. While navigating the halls, wanderers will encounter wooden containers known as crates. These are one of the most important features of Level 1. They appear unpredictably, often behind the wanderer or following periods of darkness. Inside, they may contain food, almond water, tools, medical supplies, or other useful items. However, not all contents are safe. Hazardous materials have been documented, and caution should always be exercised when opening them. Crates may also disappear when not observed, making it essential to take what you need immediately. Despite the availability of resources, Level 1 is far from safe. It is inhabited by various entities, many of which are hostile. These creatures vary in behavior and appearance. While some may ignore you, most will not. Awareness is critical. Always observe your surroundings, including areas above and behind you. Avoid unnecessary noise and do not engage unless absolutely necessary. One of the most dangerous phenomena within Level 1 is known as the Flickering. At unpredictable intervals, all lights within the level will shut off, plunging the environment into complete darkness. This is not merely an inconvenience, it is a hunting condition. During flickering events, entities become significantly more active, using the darkness to their advantage. If this occurs, your priority is to locate a corridor entrance, marked by a faint green exit light. Do not use artificial light sources as they will draw attention. Move carefully, quietly, and deliberately. The corridors serve as a secondary zone within Level 1. Unlike the halls, they follow consistent spatial logic, allowing for reliable navigation. They are narrow, complex, and extend for considerable distances, often branching into various rooms. While largely free of entities, they are also scarce in resources. Their primary function is shelter. Wanderers are advised to use these spaces to rest, recover, and regroup before returning to the halls. Rooms within the corridors vary widely in structure and purpose. Some resemble offices, others medical spaces, and some have no clear function at all. Despite their randomness, they provide a controlled environment suitable for temporary encampment. When resting, it is recommended to barricade entrances rather than rely on locks, as certain mechanisms within the backrooms may fail unpredictably. Proper rest is essential, as fatigue significantly increases the risk of fatal mistakes. As you continue exploring, you may begin to encounter signs of human activity, markers, supplies, or notes left behind by organized groups. These landmarks are intentionally placed to guide wanderers towards settlements. Following them can lead you to one of the several established communities within Level 1. Among the most established settlements is M.E.G Base Alpha, located within the Aquila Sector. It is one of the oldest and largest known communities in the Backrooms, functioning as both a refuge and an operational center. New arrivals are often taken in, provided they are willing to assist exploration and research efforts. Over time, Base Alpha has expanded significantly, growing from a single encampment into something more closely resembling a structured town. For those not yet prepared to venture deeper into the Backrooms, it offers a rare opportunity for relative stability. The Trader's Keep. Operated by Backroom's non-aligned trade group, it occupies a central role within the Gild Sector. Unlike the M.E.G, this group is not focused on recruitment or research, but on commerce. Resources, protection, and services are all available, but only in exchange for something of value. Their access to supply networks and storage facilities, including the Trader's Vault, allows them to maintain a higher standard of living than other factions. However, entry into that system is entirely transactional. Located within the Gothic Sector, Hippocrates 1 serves as a center for medical care and biological research. Originally established before the formation of the larger Aryan Circle, the settlement has become a key contributor to understanding the entities and environmental hazards of Level 1. Medical treatment is provided free of charge, reflecting their core mission of improving survival conditions within the backrooms. For injured wanderers, Reaching Hippocrates 1 can be critical. Not all groups remain active within level 1. Camp Amber, once a nomadic support group dedicated to assisting newcomers, has since relocated to another level. Historically, they played a significant role in educating and guiding newly arrived wanderers, particularly in the period following the collapse of earlier factions. Their absence has left a noticeable gap in early stage support. Other groups are far less benevolent. Cornucopia operates as a faction driven by its own interpretation of justice. Their members patrol the level, seeking out individuals they seem guilty of wrongdoing. While they may not target those without reason, their standards are inconsistent, and interaction with them carries significant risk. In level 1, human judgment can be just as dangerous as any other anomaly. Temporary structures known as registration spots are occasionally established by individuals associated with the speed no-clippers. These are not permanent settlements, but rather recruitment and training points. Here, wanderers can learn controlled no-clipping techniques, which can prove invaluable for survival and traversal. Even for those uninterested in joining, these locations often provide guidance and direction towards safer areas. Finally, there is Tom's Diner, a rare anomaly of a different kind. What began as a simple food stall has grown into one of the largest social hubs within the Habitable Zone. Operated by Tommaso Esposito and his associate Aiko Sato, the diner offers meals in exchange for resources, following the same barter system used throughout the Backrooms. Over time, it has become more than just a place to eat. It is a meeting point, a place to rest, and for some, a reminder of a normal life. Conversations happen here, music is played, and for a brief moment, the Backrooms feels less empty. Despite these pockets of civilization, it is important to remember that settlements are scattered, often difficult to locate, and never guaranteed. You may find one quickly, or not at all. Unlike level 0, this environment supports a fully developed ecosystem, one that does not exist for your benefit. The Backrooms is not just a collection of spaces, but a living system populated by entities with behaviors, patterns, and in many cases predatory instincts. Some of these creatures are neutral, a few may even be helpful under specific conditions, but most represent an active threat, and they will kill you if given the opportunity. Encounters are more likely during the previously mentioned flickering events, when darkness allows these entities to move freely and hunt more effectively. However, the absence of flickering does not mean safety. You should assume that something may be nearby at all times. Maintain constant awareness of your surroundings. This includes not just what is in front of you, but also above, below, and behind. Many entities do not approach in obvious ways. If you encounter something that you cannot immediately identify, distance is your greatest advantage. Do not panic. Fear leads to poor decisions, and poor decisions are rarely survivable here. As long as you have not been detected, you will still have control over the situation. Move slowly, break line of sight. If possible, retreat into corridors where most entities will not follow. If escape is not immediately possible, use the environment. Hide behind pillars, crates, or any obstruction available, and remain still until the entity has passed. If you must move, retrace your path using previously established landmarks, rather than risking disorientation. There are also several actions that must be avoided. Do not run unless absolutely necessary. Non-Euclidean space can distort your movement and bring you closer to danger instead of away from it. Do not use firearms at a distance. Even if you eliminate one threat, the noise will attract others, and under no circumstances should you engage an entity in close quarters, unless there is no other alternative. Overconfidence has proven to be one of the most consistent causes of death amongst new wanderers. It is also important to remember that not every humanoid figure is human. Many entities mimic human form, sometimes convincingly. If you encounter a lone individual, do not assume safety. Real wanderers tend to travel in groups whenever possible. Several entities have been encountered frequently enough to warrant specific mention. Limbs, often referred to as arms, can emerge from walls, ceilings, or vents during darkness, attempting to grab anything within reach. Clumps, masses of intertwined limbs move quickly and rely on sound rather than sight, making silence critical in their presence. Growlers are a fungal infection rather than a creature, spreading through contaminated liquids and hosts. Avoiding unsealed fluids is essential. Dullers are humanoid and capable of no-clipping through walls, often ambushing from unexpected angles. Growlers, composed of cables, rely on brute strength and can be temporarily disabled with force. Hounds exhibit animalistic behavior and can sometimes be intimidated, though avoidance is always preferable. Nguithr'xurh nests along ceilings should not be approached from below. Skin stealers are particularly dangerous due to their ability to mimic human appearance. They often engage in conversation before attacking, making prolonged interaction a risk. Smilers are attracted to light and can be redirected by removing or discarding your light source. Wranglers move through walls and can induce a hypnotic effect. If you feel vibrations around you, leave immediately. Wretches resemble degraded humans but are not to be treated as such under any circumstances. Understanding these entities is not about memorization. It is about recognizing that everything in Level 1 operates under rules you do not fully understand. Level 1 also acts as a crossroads. It connects to numerous other levels both directly and indirectly, making it one of the most significant transition points within the Backrooms. Most wanderers arrive here from Level 0, but it is far from the only entry point. Doors from other levels may lead here, sometimes clearly, sometimes without warning. Entire environments can gradually shift, transitioning seamlessly into Level 1 without a clear boundary. And as always, no clipping remains a constant variable, capable of pulling individuals into this level from a wide range of locations. In some cases, interaction with specific objects can trigger this transition. A door opened under the right conditions, an object touched at the wrong moment. Even something as mundane as consuming the wrong item has been documented to result in an involuntary shift to Level 1. Exits follow similar patterns. The most common path forward leads to Level 2. However, Level 1 does not have fixed boundaries. Other exits exist, some stable, others unpredictable. A single wall, a misplaced door, or an unseen threshold can send you somewhere entirely different without warning. Because of this, one principle remains critical. Whenever you enter a new environment, stop, observe, and confirm where you are. In the Backrooms, knowing your location is often the only thing standing between survival and disappearance. Level 1 is not the end of the journey. It is only the beginning of understanding how the Backrooms truly function. If you intend to move forward, you will eventually encounter pathways leading deeper, most commonly into Level 2. But for now, survival here is enough. Level 1 also has many sublevels, but we will cover those in a later video. This concludes our current report on Level 1, the Habitable Zone. If you found this documentation useful, consider supporting NoClipped so more research like this can continue. And if you discover additional information about this level, feel free to leave it in the records below. Until next time.